Good.
Hi dear students, welcome to your online computer class. Today we are going to start a new language, new computer language that we call it as Python. Python is a wonderful programming language. It is developed by Ito van Rosa in 1985 to 1990. Okay, every programming language is not a high level language. So some programming language is a high level language. Most recently all the languages are high level language. So Python is also a high level language. It is an interpreted and interactive language. It is very easy to learn and it is used English words. Frequently we are using all English words. So it is very easy to learn compared to other languages like C, CPP, then PHP, all the languages. So it is very easy to learn. So we can see what is Python. So it is developed by Ito van Rosa. The spelling is Ito van is G-U-I-D-O-V-A-N-R-O-S-S-U-M. Rosa. G-U is silent. Ito, I-D-O, Ito van Rosa. It is developed in 1985 to 1990. Okay. We can start with tokens. So, the first we are going to learn in Python, that is tokens. Tokens is a very basic thing in every programming language. Like that in this Python language also we are going to learn what is tokens. Tokens means it is the smallest building block or a smallest individual part of a program. If we are going to start or build or create a program, you need small building blocks or a small parts. With the small parts we are going to create a big program. For that we are using so many types of tokens. With all the help of these tokens we are going to create a program. So what is token? Token means it is a smallest or small individual part of a program. Okay. So smallest individual unit of a program. Token means smallest individual unit of a program. So these are there are 5 types of tokens. First one is keyword, identifiers, operators, punctuators and literals. We can see each one of them. First we can see keywords. What is keywords? Keywords means it is reserved words. What is reserved words? Okay, keywords means reserved words, which means it has a special meaning. Keywords having special meaning, or it means it keep for some other purpose. Some words are there, that words are keep for some other purposes. So that word we call it as keywords. Example. Some examples is if, then, final, then try. All these are the examples of keyword. Okay. Then comes identifier. Identifier means it is a building block of a program. If you want to create a program, we need some building blocks. So that is called identifiers. For example, I am writing A equal to 10. Here A, this is the identifier. We are taking a value or taking a variable. This A we call it as variable or a name. This is used to keep the value 10 to A. We are storing the value 10 in A. Okay. So here A is here we call it as identifier. Okay. To create an identifier there are some steps. First is, no, you should not use keyword as identifier. Don't use, I am taking if, so don't use if is equal to 10. This is wrong. Don't take if. Okay. If is a keyword. So don't take keyword as identifier. This is the first rule, first thing to remember while creating an identifier. Next is, don't use extra or special characters like @, then hash, dollar. All these are the some special symbols. Exclude underscore. We can use underscore in case of creating the identifiers. We can use underscore. Okay. Then that's the second point. While creating an identifier, you should remember the things. Then the third one is don't use numbers or digits at the starting. While you are creating an identifier, don't do 7, 8. Don't take integer or numbers at the first letter. Don't do like this. While you are starting or doing and creating an identifier, always start with underscore or letters. Okay, that is identifiers. Then comes operators. The next one is operators. Operators means if we want to perform some operations or actions to some variables, we are using some different types of operators are there. That operators we are using to perform the action in that variables. For example, if you want to add A and B, these are the two variables A and B. We want to, for example, we want to add these variables. Okay, so that we are using plus, which means we are adding A and B. Okay, if you want to check the relation or some greater than or less than, for that we are using A and B. So we are using the symbols. Okay, greater than, if you want to check greater than, here you can use greater than symbol, less than symbol, like that. Okay, so operators means, what is operator? Operators means we are using the operators to perform some actions on variables. Okay, we can see different types of operators. I think there are 9 to 10 operators are there. I think or 9 or 8 operators are there. We can see one by one. Okay, we can see some types of operators. I think 8 operators are we are going to discuss. First one is arithmetic operators. What are the arithmetic functions that we know? Addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and modulus operators. For 5 operations that we can do with arithmetic operators, which is the symbols addition, subtraction, multiplication we are using asterisk symbol, then division and modulus operations. Okay, I think this is one that you don't know, right? So this we are using for taking reminders. Okay, normal addition we are taking the quotient. In modulus operator we are getting the reminders. Then next one is bitwise operators and not or. Okay, so these are the bitwise operators. You just see or just learn the name of the operators. We can see deeply in the next coming classes. Okay, next is shift operators. These are the symbols, shift operators. Next is identity operator, that we are using is and is not. This identity operator we are learning deeply in Python. Coming classes we can see what is and is not operators. Next is relational operators. If you want to check less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to. These are the relational operators for checking the relations. Next is logical operators, that we are using and or. Not, I think not is not using in Python. So logical operator is and or. Next one is assignment operators, just we are using equal to symbol to assign, which means A equal to 10, which means here we are using the equal to symbol. That means we are assigning the value 10 to A. For that we are using the operator equal to, that is assignment operators. Next is arithmetic assignment operators, which means it is a shorthand operator. Commonly we call it as a shorthand operator. So that operator we call it as arithmetic assignment operator. Slash equal to, which means here this is, I am going to add A plus B. Okay, so equal to A equal to 10 and B equal to 5, and I want to add 10 plus 5. So I am using A plus B. Okay, one more thing, and I will get 15. I want to add this 15 to a value C. It is also having 10. So what is the step? This value is holded in D. So I want to add the value D plus C, right? What is the value in D? It is 15. I want to add that D plus C equal. So for that I am using, and I want to store that value in C itself. So for that I am using C plus equal to D. This is the meaning of this. What I write is C plus D equal to D, which means I am adding C and D and I already stored the value in C itself. Like that we are using slash, that means division equal to, minus equal to, plus equal to, into equal to, modulus equal to. All these operators that we are using in arithmetic assignment operators. I think you have clearly understand what is operators and what are the types of operators. Okay, next is punctuators. We all know punctuations, right? In English also we are using punctuations. What is the use of punctuations? To get a meaningful sentence. If you want a meaningful sentence, we are using some full stop, comma, exclamation mark, right? For getting the conversation to understand someone. We are speaking to someone, we are giving some pauses in between while we are talking. Then only the other person can understand what we talk, right? Or while writing something or writing a paragraph, we are using full stop. What is the use of full stop? That means that sentences end there. With the dot we can indicate that the sentences end there. Like that, in programming language also, we are giving some punctuations to get a meaningful sentence or a meaningful program. Okay, for that we are using some symbols. This is single quotes, double quotes, this is curly bracket, the square bracket, semicolon and full colon. All these symbols we are using to get a meaningful sentence in programming language. So that is the use of punctuators. Okay, next we can see literals. Next is literal. What is literal? Literal means we are giving a fixed value or some values to a variables. So that we call it as literal. The last example, what we see the last example, A equal to 10. Okay, what is A? A is a variable or an identifier. Then what is 10? The value of A. Here A having a fixed value, that is 10. Okay, so this is, we call it as literal. What type of literal it is? It is a digit, so we call it as a numeric literal. So here 10 is a numeric literal. Okay, we can see these are the types of literals: string literal, numeric literal, boolean literal and special literal none. This special literal none we discuss later. So this is a special one, that's why we discuss in the later classes. Today we can see the first three: string, numeric and boolean literal. First we can see string literal. What is string literal? It is enclosed in single quotes or double quotes. Okay, what is a group of letters or a characters A, B or single A. All these are called string literals. I am writing, today I learned Python. Okay, I enclosed it in a double quotes. Okay, this is a string literal. Learn Python. Okay, this I enclosed in a double quotes. This is a multi-line literal. Multi-line string literal. String literal we can classify into two types, that is single line literal and multi-line literal. Okay, hi world. This is a single line literal. Today I learned Python. It is a multi-line literal. The result what we give inside single quotes and double quotes will be same. What the result we get is in single quotes and double quotes, the answer will be same. Okay, that is string literal. Next is numeric literal. It is also three types: int, float and complex. Okay, we are discussing int and float. What is int? It is an integer which only carrying integer part, not decimal part. That types of literal we call it as numeric literal or integer literal. We have it 10.5. This is a decimal part is here, so we call this part as a decimal part. So this types of literal we call it as float literal or floating point literal. Okay, that is numeric literal. Then last one is boolean literal. Boolean literal nothing, that is it will return only true or false, 0 or 1. That will return by boolean literal. Okay, these about tokens. Once again, we can recollect the names of tokens. There are 5 types of tokens. It is keyword, identifiers, operators, punctuators and literal. Okay, next we can see the basic structure of Python, how we can write a Python program. Okay, so what is the basic structure or a simple programming program we can written in Python. Okay, basic structure of a Python program. This is a basic structure, a simple program that I written in Python language. Here you can see a hash symbol. Hash first Python program. This is a command line. Using this, we are starting with a line with a hash symbol, which means it will not run, or the compiler will not take this line, which means it is a command line. Okay, this we are starting with a hash symbol, which indicates that it is a command line. Okay, so it will not execute. After the command line only, it will start execution. What is the command that we write? Print. What is the statement we give it? It is print command. Print in a bracket we give in double quotes my first Python program. What is the output here that we get? What is the output? My first Python program. Okay. Whatever that you give inside the double quotes, it will print like that in your output screen. So this statement or this line we call it as statement. Okay. After the command line, after the hash, the next line what you write, that all line we call it as statements. Okay. This is the body of your program. So this is the command line and this is the statement. Whatever that you give inside the print command, it will print in your output screen. Whatever the command or whatever the content that you give inside this double quotes, it will print like this. There is no end or there is no symbol in the end of this line. Just type the command print, open the bracket, open the double quotes and type what you want. Close this double quotes and close the bracket. And you run the program, you will get whatever you write inside this command. Okay. So this is basic structure of a Python program. I think you all understand what I teach today. What we see today, we just see what is token and basic structure of a program, Python program. Okay, I hope everyone understand what I teach today. So dear students, please go through the video and understand what I learned, what I teach. Okay, see you in the next class. Bye. Thank you.